Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, friends. Very warm welcome to our 52nd webinar in this series. Uh, Today we are going to discuss 2026 innovation mindset. Think forward, act bold. Before I go to the details, I have to thank you all once again on behalf of ASK Development. You know, this is our CSR initiative, and we are trying to play our role in developing nation overall, specifically in knowledge and skill arenas. Today, we have a very distinguished speaker with us, Dr. Alaa Garad. He is a founding partner, Sterling Center for Strategic Learning and Innovation. Dr. Sahab has a PhD in Organizational Learning and Development, and he is a leading expert in quality management and organizational learning with over 30 years of global experience and exposure. He has held senior academic roles in top Middle Eastern universities and leadership positions at Union National Bank, Emirates Airline, and IIP UAE as a CEO. Nowadays, he is based in UK, Scotland. He is a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts and ISO TC 260 member and a certified management and business educator. Dr. Alaa has created the learning-driven organization model, authored the best-selling book, The Learning-Driven Business, and has published over 450 articles in his field. He also founded the Organizational Learning Conference, MENA, as well. Welcome, Dr. Thank you very much for joining us today. Friends, today we have a bit changed format of our webinar. Usually we go through the questions and more of the discussions. But since the worthy speaker has a distinguished position and a very well established academic career as well, so we decided first we will listen for 20 minutes. He may present his thoughts through the some slides, and then we will come towards our discussants. I will introduce them as we will start the question answer session. Dr. Now the floor is yours. We are eager to listen to you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Akif Saab and Khurram Saab. And it's a pleasure to be with you and with your audience. I appreciate that everyone is coming, though it might be a busy day and for some people who are celebrating Christmas, but it's an honor and pleasure to be with you all. I'll try my best to adhere to the time, so let's see if technology will not fail us. And I'm sharing my slides now. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, clear.
Wonderful. So I am, as Akif mentioned, I live in Scotland, in Dundee City, and also I split my time between Dundee and Stirling, where the new center is. This picture is from the city of Dundee, and Scotland is a very beautiful country to visit. So if you don't know where to spend your summer this year, please come to Scotland. I will not talk about myself. Akif has introduced me much better than I would do for myself. And I would like to start with this question. What is the one thing we all possess equally? And I underline the word equally. We have it equally. It's not the brain, it's not wealth, it's not health, but there is one thing we literally have it equally. And please feel free to put the answer in the chat here. What is this one thing we share? We have it equally. Any responses?
In the chat, we don't have any response as such. Yeah, Dr. Nasser has raised.
Is the chat working or no?
The chat is working. Chat is working.
Okay.
Normally, we don't get the mic. So
can you pop in the chat?
Yeah.
And we'll keep the questions to the end.
Yeah, we will do that.
We will look after these questions and we'll put towards you. Don't worry. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, okay. I will proceed here. I don't want to use other app to get the answers, so to save time. This one thing is all of us, without any exception, we have 168 hours a week. That's our budget. That's our time budget. We equally have this. Okay, long life to all of us here, but we all have access to this 168 hours, and it depends on how we're going to use this budget on our daily routine and our lifestyle. We can use it wisely. We can use it as really we deal with money. I know some people do not appreciate money well and they spend it without a good reason. But let's think of the 168 hours as the time budget we have equally here. And I quote this from Benjamin Franklin about the importance of time, because our life is this time. This forms our life. And if we sit in a meeting for 1 hour with someone, we give them 1 hour of our life. If we spend the day doing nothing, we just let go 1 day. I'm not saying we don't need to refresh and have breaks, but we need to really be careful when we where and with whom and how we spend our time. So time is the currency. And nowadays we have so many things that distract us from what we want to do. And I opted to start with this alarm about the importance of time, because everything starts from here. If we appreciate and value the precious gift of time, we would really do things in a very different way. So the currency is time. I always recommend this film called In Time for Justin Timberlake. If you didn't watch this film, please watch it and you will know what I mean. So we are a few days before starting the new year, and this is a very good time actually to have a new fresh and think about ourselves, about our career, about our social life, what do we want, and how to be more innovative in the 2026, how to think smarter, how to act bolder, and how to adapt faster. Because we don't need to be really a genius, we don't need to have a lot of money in order to enjoy our lifestyle and have something different from every year. So innovation is I know it's a big word and a big there are so many standards. I sit in BSI, British Standard Institution, and there are so many standards nowadays about innovation. But innovation starts with creativity. It starts in our brains, in our minds. We think about some idea, and then we take this idea further, and we learn new things to put this idea into action, or we find who are the people who can help us to get this idea implemented. So it's not only about ideas, but about how we learn fast, how we adapt, how we acquire new knowledge. I'll tell you this PowerPoint, for example, these slides I'm using here, I didn't prepare the PowerPoint. I didn't go to the PowerPoint. I used a website called Gamma, and I bought the material I prepared to have it in forms of slides. So it did it for me. It did all this formatting. That saved me a lot of time. I used to spend at least a half day to prepare a 10 slides presentation. And I learned quickly and I started to adapt. In the past, we used to have these graphic designers. Unfortunately, that job is not needed anymore. There are many apps, many of them even for free. So what are the graphic designers going to do? How they will adapt and what else they can learn in order to survive and to retain their jobs. The same applies with many jobs. It's not that risky, but it will be risky if we do not learn, if we do not look into what we need to unlearn and forget, let go, and the new knowledge and new techniques we have to learn. And this is a continuous journey. What we learn today might be tomorrow will become obsolete. It's not relevant anymore. So this relying on the past success won't help us much anymore. We have to really devote time and learn and start thinking in a different way. So when we talk about innovation, which is the topic for us today, there are some myths here about innovation. Some people think it's about brilliant creativity or groundbreaking ideas or big inventions or cutting edge technology. But nowadays, this is very important, but it's not all about this. This is not all the story. The real innovation is about having the right questions, is about our speed of learning, adopting new things, but equally our speed of forgetting, of unlearning. Because if we think this is the way to get things done and we insist on this way, that will not help. This whole way will be obsolete, will be outdated. So it's not about having answers, but having the right questions. If you use ChatGPT or PagePop or any of these Perplexity AI, it's not, the answers are there and more accurate sometimes than what we know. But we need to ask the right questions. So the questions is the currency now, not the answers. Okay. Let's have a quick reality check for 26. So skills expires faster than strategies. Yeah. I used to be very good in developing a new curriculum and developing new courses for my university. That skills is not that much needed. Still, it will benefit me, but if I use all these databases available and these AI tools, I don't need to be expert in curriculum development. I just need to know the outer framework, the overall framework, and then I will get it. So I need to find something else to become excellent at, to become needed. Okay. The same applies for doctors, for many of our industries these days. The knowledge that we used to consider it as a strength now is not anymore. It's not relevant anymore. So we have to learn fast to acquire new skills. Also, if we just rely on the past that this guy is fantastic in doing research and he's the guru of quantitative research, that's not needed anymore. We can have other solutions for this. Okay, so that's why we need to find out what are the areas that we need to acquire or the new skills we need to acquire. Many of these knowledges, as I said, is available and even for free. So what are we going to do? When we fail to innovate, that means we fail to learn, because innovation and learning are the two sides of the same coin. Or think of innovation, if you think of it as a destination, you want to reach there, you want to become innovative, the vehicle that will take us to this destination is called learning. We need to learn. So what is this so-called learning? What are the types of learning? How can we learn? What are the different methods? And that's a very rich topic. We can learn about learning. We can see how learning can become a product. How can we productize our knowledge and our learning? I know I am talking about generic topics here. However, maybe during the Q&A, I'll be able to cite some examples and specific case studies, how people can use learning to become more innovative and to apply what did they learn. So there is something called learning agility, okay, which is our absorptive capacity, our ability to learn quickly and let go. So learning quickly, become agile when it comes to learning. And then unlearning and relearning. Maybe some of us didn't hear this term, unlearning or relearning, but this is again the method, the methodology to let go. I used to become a good auditor for ISO 9001. Then I decided to learn something else called investors in people. And investors in people, we don't call it auditor, we call it assessor. I used to use the same methodology of compliance, non-conformity from ISO, applying it in IIP or investors in people, which was totally different methodology. And I was struggling, and my mentor was struggling with me. Angela. She was my mentor. And then I realized that someday I came across the word unlearn, because I was looking into investors and people is like ISO conformity and non-conformity. That's totally different story. IIP is totally different. So I decided, really imagine that this is a delete button there, and then I will forget about ISO totally when I do the assessment. And I have become more open to listen and to apply what I learned when it comes to IIP. Then we have another concept called organizational learning. So this presentation is meant for individuals who are not associated, not in the capacity or with the head of an organization, but it also meant to those who are already associated with some organization. In both cases, we need to be aware of a concept called organizational learning, which is a system level. Maybe today I will hear something during this presentation from you. I will learn this, then I take it to my university, try to apply it, or to Sterling Center. If there is no a system in Sterling Center to make this individual learning organizational, that's the problem. So in any organization that aspires or strives to become learning driven and improve their performance, we need to learn about this concept, organizational learning, where there is a system in place to capture all these activities and give a forum, give opportunity to people to implement this learning. Another concept I would like to share with you that's very helpful, it's more helpful about the mindset, because we're not going to do something new here, but we will become more mindful about our interactions, about our routine on daily basis. You may heard about this 70-20-10, especially those of you who are in the area of learning and development and human resource. That's a common term, 70-20-10. What means here, what does it mean here, is that 70% of our learning comes from experimentation, comes from trials and errors. We make a mistake, we get blamed for it, or we got the opportunity to analyze it and learn from this mistake. We did it right, so we know the formula of getting things right. But also we learn from experimentation of others. Okay, we don't have that luxury of time to make all the mistakes that others already did. So 70% comes from experience, from experimentation, and from real life scenarios. Then 20% of our learning comes from dialogues and reflections. We reflect on the dialogue, we come up with some abstract from this presentation, so we get this 20% of learning, and then 10% comes from formal learning, sitting in a class or courses, except one course I am biased to, that we help people to learn how to learn. So that's a traditional course, but it makes a difference in our perception of learning and our techniques in using learning. So this is called 70-20-10, and I recommend you to reboot and to think about this concept and test it by yourself. So unlearning, relearning, it's a good thing to consider for mindset. If we don't do this before, please pause and decide to start this. Find something you need to unlearn and something you need to learn, new thing, and to relearn it. So in 26, innovation begins with subtraction, with removing, which is easier. If I tell you what are you going to do in 26, the first month, it would be easier if I say, what are you going to stop doing? Okay, of course, apart from smoking, where people struggle stopping smoking, but still you can do it. So what is the thing you want to stop doing? And that's important. So we have two things. One thing called single loop learning, where we try to adjust our actions on what we do. And this is a quick fixes, okay? But it's not sufficient for innovation. If we want to innovate really and make something different, we need to think about something called double loop learning. And if you Google these terms, you will find a lot of examples and a lot of success stories. And I'm happy also to share more examples on this. When it comes to double loop learning, we start asking questions. Why do we do this actually? in the first place? Why I'm doing this? Why I'm filling this form? Why do we need to have 12 forms for this simple procedure? Okay, what assumptions are we protecting here? Maybe the thing we are protecting is already outdated, it's not relevant anymore. What would we do differently if starting fresh today? Okay, so if I give you the power to take decisions about some process, how are you going to do it differently? So these are some of the questions when it comes to double loop learning. So now we are talking about learning how to learn and what are the two different methodology of learning. Why this is important? Because if you remember, I told you, in order to reach that level of innovation or to become bring innovation to the workplace or to your life, we have to learn, because learning is the vehicle that can take us to innovation. There are characteristics. What does it mean to become a learning-driven organization or using organizational learning? I'm sure ASK development will share the slides with you, so I'm not gonna to elaborate much on this because I want to go to something important to end my presentation for now. But all these are quick frameworks that I will share with you. I even prepared some document that you will receive. It will help you to have this kind of challenge. I call it 30 days. People, they call it 90 days challenge, but I made a kind of 30 days challenge for you during the month of January to do something different. I'll be more than happy to stay in touch with you as well, and with ASK Development, our partner, to follow up. And if you need a mentor to follow up on this, to see what is the result and what kind of challenges you are facing trying to implement this 30 days challenge, we will have a discussion about this and we'll be happy to provide you with mentorship on this 30 days challenge. I want you to remember something, that the future belongs. It's not my quote. Many people said this, but I added organizations and governments, because what applies to people applies to organizations and applies to governments as well. So the future belongs to people, organizations, and governments that learn faster than the world changes. Everyone talking about VUCA now. The world has become volatile, uncertain, ambiguity. What are we going to do? What did we learn to overcome this VUCA world? This is the big question. If you want a quick tool, leaving this presentation with something to remember, take a screenshot from this slide, and I'll also share with you. In the next 30 days, okay, what is the one thing you should immediately stop? Put it and take notes of this so you don't forget. You need to measure the progress. Otherwise, we cannot improve if we cannot measure. So in 30 days, what is the one thing we want to stop doing? What is the one thing we are good at and we should continue doing? And what is the one thing that we don't do at the moment and we should start doing it? Okay, so this is a quick, simple tool. We call it traffic light. So you can think about it and try to implement it, and I'll be very curious to see the result. If I play the role of some wisdom here or some wise man, I would really ask you to focus on time and consider your time as the currency. Have some goals. If it's not a must also, if you want to have just one goal, not a set of goals. Focus on networking, learning from others' experience, asking people for help. I always repeat in every presentation, I say, ask for it, you may get it. If you need something, ask for it. You may get it. Even if you don't get it, you can try again. You can keep trying. Have faith all times, never lose faith, and learn something new. Make this part of the challenge of the 30 days, to learn a new language or to learn a new skill, and be perseverance about it. And help others, because the more you help others, the more others will help you, and try it for yourself. I would like to quote Allama Iqbal. I love this quote: become a seeker of knowledge, for knowledge is a guide to action. Okay, so it's not only action, it's not only knowledge, but seek knowledge and take action on the knowledge. This is why when we go to these famous motivational speakers, we feel good when we're listening. We are enjoying the talk, but then 3 days later, we forget everything because we don't take action. Okay, so please take a note to take action. When you like something, you have only 180 seconds to take action. If you don't take action, this thing will die. This idea will not be there anymore. So sometimes you can't take action immediately, but take note, write it somewhere that you want to take action on this idea or this project. And as I said, I'm more than happy to share many of these examples from real life. And I don't find something better than this verse from Quran to end my presentation. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. So we have to do pursuit. We have to take action, do our best. Don't think like others. Well, many people will tell you there is no chance here. The country is poor. You need to know someone and the power to get things done. Just do what you are supposed to do. Forget about all these disencouraging words. That's not our business. Just do your best. The else is not your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Alaa. It is very comprehensive, candid, and informative talk for all of us. I learned personally so many new points, especially 30 days challenge. Before I go to the questions, Mr. Najam, Mr. Adil, Mr. Arsalan, they have sent some questions I will put in front of you. But before that, I would request our discussant, Mr. Rana Khurram Ali Khan. Sir, what do you think about this learning, or how we can make it implementable in our lives?
Thank you so much, Dr. Alaa. Briefly and the details explained very well. So I just want to add something. Future. We are talking about future. Future. And currently, if you review, future does not reward certainty. It's reward speed of learning. So the all matters is the speed of learning. And remember, it's not an extension. The future to 2026 is not an extension of this year. It's a jump. It's a new chapter. And remember, you have to do something different. As Dr. Alaa said, you have to use AI. Earlier, to make a presentation is an art. So in all big organizations, there's a 2-3 people whose jobs are depending on making presentation. I worked in Gulf, so there are 2-3 guys who just made presentation, and each presentation gives them an extension of 2 months job. So 6 presentation a year. And now I'm using Gamma. It takes 30 seconds, and presentation is there. So, and a question is again coming, AI is replacing. No, AI is a co-pilot. So consider AI is a co-pilot. You have to use it wisely. Remember, if you have knowledge, you can use AI in a better manner. Who will not get the benefit? Who doesn't want to use their brain? Who doesn't want to work hard, or who doesn't want to go in details? AI is dependent on you, remember. You have to, whatever you are feeding, it will come back to you. But it's very important what you actually are feeding into it. So this is more important. So it's all about right now. So future capacity building, capabilities, credentials are important, degrees are important. But remember, your speed is depending on your capability or your capacity. So focus on that. And this is, I think, so for an innovative mindset, remember, you have to be like adaptable. You have to be resilient. You learn to use new technologies. Things are available, and who will have the edge? Who will stand out of the crowd? Who is able to use this knowledge correctly? So go with the time. Remember, 2026, especially in this era, is not an extension of 2025. It's not an extension of 2024. It's a total new chapter, and it's a jump. It's a hell of a difference between 2025 and the way of working in 2024. 25 was much advanced, but remember, 2026 is much advanced and faster. So be adaptable, learn to make things, and speed. Remember, things will not wait for you. And even in previous, I want to quote just a small example. We used to want to add one service, and we were waiting for the right time, and things gone. You cannot wait. You cannot wait right now. Implement it, learn, implement immediately. Bold actions. Bold actions are very, very important. Bold actions beat perfect planning. A right action, a bold action on the right time is much better than the foolproof planning if you are not able to do the foolproof planning within time. So don't waste time. Take bold actions. This is the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Khurram Sahab, for enlightening us with the pointers. Dr. Sahab, coming back to the questions I have from Facebook as well. So let's start. Mr. Najam and Adil have asked about one thing. Innovation is no longer about ideas. How? Please explain. Secondly, also tell us the film related to time. I want to know its name. This is the question. So the both
Okay.
questions towards you, and then I have some academic questions as well.
Okay,
Please go ahead.
thank you for the two questions. The easy one is the film is called In Time. In Time.
In time. Okay.
Maybe I'll find the link and put it, but it's called In Time. And briefly, when the currency is time, so everyone will be born with a budget of 25 years. If they don't work, if they don't gain extra time when they are 25, they will die immediately wherever they are. But if you work hard, you go to the factory, and the factory will inject 8 hours in your arm because the meter is there in your arm. Okay. Then you go to Starbucks to get coffee. They will deduct 15 minutes for the coffee, and so on. So the currency is the time. But it's a beautiful film, really. I watched it 5 or 6 times. It gives the importance about time more than any lecture. Innovation is not only about ideas, doesn't mean ideas are not important. The point here that ideas alone doesn't make it innovation. For example, I had my boss in the university 19 years ago. He had a signboard in front of him or somewhere on the desk say, "Please, no bright ideas." And I said, "Why? Why you say this? You should encourage people to bring ideas." He said, "Some faculty members, they come for urgent meeting and they come with a fantastic idea, but not implementable. Or they don't have any idea how to get it done, or they don't give it a shape." So I can easily tell you, why don't we go in Lahore and build a spaceship factory? It will be the only country who does, in Asia who build spaceship factories. But do we have the ecosystem to build spaceship factories? Do we have the capacity at the moment, etc.? So we need to have ideas that implementable. Yes, you can dream high, and of course, but you need to give it a shape. So my boss that time said, I asked my faculty member to give only 1 page. What is the situation now? What is my idea? And what improvement the idea will bring? And who will help in implementing it? He said they disappear. 90% of them, they disappear and they don't come back. So throwing ideas alone is not enough. We need to shape the idea. We need to discuss it with people. And we need to take action on it. You know what I mean? So just an idea remains an idea. But we need to take action to become innovation. And this is exactly the difference between creativity and innovation. ISO 15000 something, they differentiate between creativity and innovation. When you create new ideas, nice ideas, good ideas, that's creativity. When you transform the ideas into a product, sellable, service, something tangible, then this is innovation. I hope this answered the question.
Very well. Sir, you have talked about the learning with a 70% from experience, 20% by dialogue, and 10% in formal class. If we follow this ratio, then it means there is no need for further certifications and formal courses?
That's a good question. We're talking, very good question. And this is actually a debate between academics and learning professionals about this 70-20-10 model.
Yeah.
We have to differentiate between education and learning. Okay. So education is the need, what we need to have qualified. We need a bachelor degree. We need certain disciplined education qualification. So that goes without saying. The learning we're talking about is the learning in workplace, the learning in life, the lifelong learning that we can get from any interaction. We can learn today from the webinar. I can learn from a conversation with you, Akif. That's a continuous journey. So the learning we're talking about, for those who are practitioners, it comes from this 70-20-10. However, we still need the disciplined education. We need our degrees, and we need to go to universities. It may be in a different way. If you look into the universities in the UK now, all of them have started to introduce online degrees. That means many of the lecture theaters of these fancy, huge buildings are sitting there empty, no one there, vacant. Okay.
I see.
But yet I still need a degree from Edinburgh University or Cambridge or LOMS or, yeah, but not in the same format as before. And also there is a change here about education system where I don't need to spend the 4 years going to the university every day. There is something called micro-credential now and pathways. So I can get 2 modules from LOMS and I go to Islamabad, get another module from another university, and then go to Cairo University, get another module. And then I gather all these modules I learned. Then I go to our last university to get a degree from there. They consider this as a degree. Okay. So the dynamics are changing everywhere.
That's right. On term of innovation, we have 2 questions. One is from Sayyid Murtazali and Mir Bhatti. Questions are, what does innovation mean beyond technology in developing, rather underdeveloping regions like Gilgit-Baltistan? These are the far-flung mountain areas of Pakistan. So what does mean innovation for those people living in those barren areas? And second question, does innovation mean inventing a new thing or learning something we did not know before?
Wonderful.
How you would
Again,
respond?
another fantastic question. And I say to these 2 friends, colleagues, try to Google Jugad innovation. Jugad. And Jugad innovation is a type of frugal innovation where you solve big problems using simple techniques that doesn't cost much. For example, in the United States, to have this, how you call it, incubator for the prematurely born kids, it costs around maybe $4,000. In some parts in Asia, they use this Jugad innovation to use cheaper material, yet delivers almost 90% of the same quality was $200. Only 200. Okay. And there are many examples like this. So the innovation in this developing countries context is to solve problems that requires a huge investment with an affordable investment. Okay, so we can get this problem solved. And it's a whole domain of knowledge called Jugad. There is a bestseller book called Jugad Innovation. And I know one of the co-author, he's a professor in Cambridge University here, talking about Jugad. So to cut the story short is to learn from others' experience. How Brazil solved this problem, how Tanzania solved this, or Vietnam, or other countries, and get these new ideas, new innovation, to customize it to suit my culture in Pakistan or any other country. Okay, so learning from other experience with affordable tools and techniques and affordable investment as well. Apart from technology, innovation can help us to improve our products, to bring new products, or to improve a service that exists. I'll tell you, for example, in Mauritius, they had an innovation camp or innovation challenge to come up with ideas from the public to reduce the consumption of water and electricity. But then they launched another challenge, how to promote this challenge, how to make people aware of the need for reducing the consumption, okay? And that itself, that campaign, the media campaign, was a case study because they gathered ideas from people and from consultants and from students in schools how to promote the concept. And I like it because they used the Japanese word called muda. Eliminate muda means reduce waste. And one of the guys made an idea to get the curiosity of the people. For 1 month, the television, every day they bring an advertisement, commercial, say, stop muda. We want a better country. Stop muda, i.e. stop waste. And the whole country was busy thinking, what is muda? What is this thing to stop? Okay. And everyone was waiting that end of the month to get to know what is muda. And the campaign got an idea that they explained it only for the students in schools. They went to schools and they explained what is muda, how to reduce consumption, what is the impact of reducing consumption. And they gave every student a sheet with 20 fields, 20 signatures. And they asked every student from primary school, high school, elementary school to go to public and explain it to them. And they have to get 20 signatures that they explain this to people and people understood it. And then they get an award after they come back. They get some gift. So even with campaigns, you can get ideas to make some innovation without costing you much.
Thank you very much, Dr. We have 4 or 5 questions more. Before that, Yashfin Iman is saying, please explain about modules which you mentioned before. You think about a bit because I could not really understand this question. And before you answer, let me one question put to Dr. Khurram. This is a bit different question. How to shift to innovative mindset when there are so much disappointments from the society?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a good one. Very
It's
good,
actually-
very political question.
Yeah, it's actually very, very good.
Very good question and much needed, actually.
Yeah, remember, look, when there is a disappointment, when we use the term be resilient, disappointment, failures are part of life. Remember, normally the people who never fail have a less chance of growing too much, unless they are like blessed or their parents have extraordinary prayers for them. Failures and disappointments are part of life, and actually this is a tool, this is a fuel for being innovative. Just example, I just want to add, like the earlier question, which is regarding the Gilgit-Baltistan side. I saw an AI education center in Karimabad, Hunza, a couple of months back, and it's I think so. I'm talking about May. So I'm talking about early May. So this is the sort of innovation, and this is the mindset to start something. This Jugaad investment, we call it Jugaad investment, to be very honest. So we find a way, actually we find a way to in so many automation of the machines. So anyway, I just stick to the question. I want to stick to the question. Remember that society, okay, there is depressing, there are disappointment, there are failures. Never lose the confidence. If you have confidence on yourself, try to find a way. Instead of going to depression or something, work to find something different. Remember, you have to learn. As Dr. Alaa said, I really want to rephrase it, that all the degrees and all the courses where there is a physical or there is a practical experience are more like marketable now. People are mentioning, the students are preferring, parents are preferring that their kids go to this university, the school who are more practical. The degree is there for sure, but they have to learn. When they came out with the credentials, with the degree, they have the capability, they have the capacity as well. So whenever there is a disappointment, when there is something failure, remember, this is the time to bring confidence. And the biggest benefit of this AI and this new era, remember when we were young, When we were young, we don't have internet, so we have to. The Rogers Thesaurus was the most favorite book because we find the alternative words from there. Now, a click away. All mobiles have an AI mode with the Google. So try to find these things. Try to find me innovative. Right now, there are so many learning opportunities as well earning opportunities by use of this. So remember, disappointments will come, failures will come. It's on you. So if you are bold enough, I mentioned earlier, bold actions are most important. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for the perfection. Be bold. Explore yourself, be confident, and do your homework properly. And these AI tools are the best thing to do your homework. Believe me, earlier we used to something stuck in your mind, and we it took hours to find out the solution, or it not the solution, the information. And now it's a click away. So use that. Whenever there's something bad came to you, society is negative. That is the fuel you have to use. Burn it. Do your homework. If you want to isolate for a couple of days, do that, no issue, but don't waste that time. Stop the muda. Stop the
Exactly.
muda. Don't, yeah, just don't waste time, and make it these all disappointment failures as a fuel. Be confident, work hard, try to find the way, and these AI are the perfect tools. It will give you guidance as well, and you can build a plan and just act.
Thank you.
I can't really agree more with you, Khurram Saab. This is fantastic, and I echo what you said. And I don't claim I'm much religious or something, but remember one important thing: وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى. So even if people do not realize what you are doing, your pursuit is what you're gonna to be rewarded for. So I would say, do your best. Forget about the context, forget about those around you, forget about those who discourage you. Okay. And I always like to say this example, and I'm using myself here so you don't think I'm reading something nice from the media. I was doing my master's and was struggling when I was working a full-time person, have a family, and doing a master degree. And all I wanted in the first semester, I went to my manager asking him for 5 days leave from my annual leave. And he made fun of my master. He said, I never heard about MQM, Master of Quality Management. People will do MBA. But I didn't listen. That didn't impact me. And he refused to give me the 5 days. And I needed this time to prepare for the exams. I went back to my desk. I wrote my resignation and I gave it to him. I said, I'm resigning. If it will cost me my job, I will do this master. So what I want to see here, I was persistent because I know very well if I do this master in quality management, it will change my career, it will improve my salary, and I will have to do it. He was shocked. He said, are you serious? I said, yes, I am. Then he signed the leave. He said, go, that's okay. I'll give you the leave. So he gave me the 5 days leave. And I did it and done. And all the time he called it Mickey Mouse degree. Alaa is doing a Mickey Mouse degree. He's bullying me, but I didn't care. I didn't even complain. I take it with a very positive spirit. I finished my master. Okay. Less than 2 months, I was assistant quality manager in Emirates Airlines in quality department.
Great.
I got my salary increased 4 times, not 2, not 3, 4 times. 6 years later, University of Wollongong in Dubai, and I'm saying facts here, asked me to go and teach the master, MQM, Master of Quality Management. 6 years later, after I finished the master and went to University of Wollongong, my manager was studying the Mickey Mouse degree in my class. And I was teaching him. I was his professor. And we remained nice friends. I never took it with any negativity. What I want to say here, I'm not a Superman. I'm just a persistent person. I know I need to do this and I need to finish it no matter what will happen. Okay? And if there is a will, there is a way. My professors helped me. My supervisor opened the doors for me and put a good word for me to join this university. When you do your job, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the universe, whatever you want to call, will help you. Everything will be there to help you. That's what I want to say.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Adal also has responded this question. He said, if there is no failure and disappointment, how would you realize the importance of appreciation? What
Exactly.
you have?
Exactly. Absolutely.
That's good.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dr. Alaa, here is another question. We are at the end of 2025. This is the time to review, reflect, and plan for future. So, how the innovative mind will think and plan differently than a traditional mindset?
Okay. If you didn't, there is a nice book called Think and Grow Rich
Okay,
by
yeah.
Napoleon Hill. I think it's very common and in every language and available even for free online. And this talks about the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. And I have it even when family member, my siblings and their families. Some people, they always see the negative thing that it will not work. I am not, ranked person. I don't have that much, investment. Others, they see always the positive side. Say, okay, let's go and do it, and then we will learn from it. And while you take action, yes, you may have failures, as Adil said and Khurram said. You may get disappointment, but also you will get positive people who are willing to help you. You cannot imagine many projects I started where everything says, no, you shouldn't do this. The economic situation is poor. I don't have the required capital for this, etc. But as I said, ask for it, you may get it. Don't just stay in silence and struggle alone. Okay? Move little bit of this concern to your circle. I'm sure you have a circle of people who care about you. Some people who are genuine, who are willing to support you, even with a good advice. Okay? So please, if you don't have this circle, your advisory board, and I'm using the word of Napoleon Hill, go and find an advisory board for you. People who give you positive energy, who encourage you. Even one person is enough. Okay? And ask for help. Okay? You may get it. In my last trip to Pakistan, I say this here, I went from that Sialkot airport. And I was so tired. I did a lot of presentation, a lot of work, and I was so exhausted. And on the counter, a gentleman called Hamza. He's there in Sialkot Airport in Pakistan. I told him, is there any chance to upgrade me to business class if you have a chance? And after he already issued me the economy ticket, the board economy, he said, okay, give me your boarding pass. He turned it and he gave me a business class upgrade. It didn't cost me anything. I just asked for it. Okay. Then I sent him a thanks letter and everything. So what I want to say here, if you need help, ask people. Ask for it. You may get it. If you don't get it, not the end of the world. That's fine. Keep trying.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arslan has also agreed the response by two of you on disappointments. And he said that I believe that without failure, one cannot truly prepare his or herself for the success in life.
Exactly.
Yes, and please let me see the other question. Yeah, and the question is, as you said in your presentation, Dr. Alaa, innovation is not a one-time activity. Can you please explain it furthermore? Do we need a plan first? Work hard? We have an outline, or is an incident? How it will work?
Okay. Okay. I relate here, if you allow me, Akif Saab, to something you guys in ASK Development organizing next year, inshallah, which is a conference about productizing learning. Okay. Innovation has to be something productized. Okay. Could be a service or a product. So why I'm saying it's not one time thing. I'll give you example from my own again. When I finished my thesis ages ago, the doctoral thesis, I wanted to make something out of it. I said it's not enough just to have the DR in front of my name. I want to do something impactful. So I extracted the dissertation into a model called Learning Driven Organization. That was a nice idea, a framework, few slides.
Yeah.
But I consider this innovation because it made a product out of it. And I'm sharing it with you as an example of how to productize knowledge and to continue the innovation. So that model, I went to my mentor, Professor Jeff Gold, and he's long life to him. He's still there and active and doing a lot of work. I wanted him to work with me because he will put pressure on me, positive pressure. Because I know if I leave it to myself, I will keep procrastinating it. So he took me, we went to his home and we sat together and we wrote a model. We got the model published. It became a paper. Okay. So we continued the journey of bringing new innovation. We turned the paper into a booklet. We published it on Amazon. I realized people still until today buy this booklet. Then we turned the booklet. We wrote a book called The Learning Driven Business. That's 336 pages on Amazon.
Okay.
And because we asked help from people, many people helped us, including the publisher. The publisher is Bloomsbury, the same publisher of Harry Potter. And they gave us an advance payment. We didn't expect this. But I want to tell you there was 6 publishers rejected the book before Bloomsbury. 6 in a row. 6 rejections in 2 months. But we didn't stop. We continued until we
Great.
got a good publisher. Okay. Now we made the book. We transformed it into a professional certification. Innovation continues. The certification is working very well. Then we transformed it into a master degree, the first and only in the UK. Then we transformed the master into a PhD, and so on. And now we have Sterling Center. And Sterling Center has become a partner with ASK Development, our host today. And so on. And we are doing new things in Pakistan and in Azerbaijan, in South Africa. So what I want to say, it is not a one time you do it and then you finish, you relax. It's a continuous journey. And the more you work, the more you become lucky. Okay? Because
Thank
the
you.
more you do effort and you have a good pursuit, the more people will be there to help you. If
Dr.
I'm
Alaa,
allowed
time
for...
is running short. I have
Yeah.
one more important question. Please
Sure.
allow me to talk.
Please.
Thank you. Mr. Adil has a question that what are the most important skills to stay relevant in 2026? And one more question is by Mr. Umar Raza Bhutta, who is an organizational development consultant and HR professional. His question is, how educational institutes adopt the model of 70-20-10? And you have 2 minutes, please, only.
Okay. The first question, and thanks Ali and Adil and all the colleagues here.
This is the last
one
challenge
thing-
for you in 2025. 2 minutes explanation.
Okay. The thing we need to stick to in 2026, find some goal to achieve in this year only, something to do in 2026, and learn everything about it. Be curious about it. Forget Facebook, Instagram, all the time waster things, and just focus to learn more about this thing. In 2026, for example, I have a potential working in Brazil. I am learning Portuguese every day now. So when I go there, I can speak in Portuguese to my Brazilian friends. So that's my target. Every time else I used to waste on social media, I am putting now on learning Portuguese. Okay, that's the first thing. The other question was about the universities or higher education institution.
70-30-20.
Unfortunately, as of today, the higher education institution and an institution in education are the least learning organizations, because they talk about learning, but they don't implement it. And this is why we try to come up with a solution called the learning-driven universities, the learning-driven schools, to help the decision makers in these organizations to appreciate the importance of learning. the importance of learning from the context, from the competition, and to think differently. Because if they think the same way they think, in less than 10 years, universities will disappear. It will not be there.
Thank you. We have more questions by Rakshanda Meher, Mr. Yusuf, Mr. Bilal, and some other questions, but unfortunately, we do not have much more time. Please, you have seen the email in the chat box, so send your email address as well for the digital certificate of this webinar. I'm sorry we cannot take more questions. And some other time we will plan another workshop with you webinar so that all such questions we will address again sometimes. Its recording will be available on Facebook and also on ASK YouTube channel. Its channel address is also in our chat box. And let me thank all of you, our speakers, discussants, and all those who asked questions and made this webinar live more rewarding for all of us. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz. See you
Thank you
soon.
very much, everyone. Allah Hafiz. Thank you.